becomes dangerously close to one-shot potential as the game goes on.
And we know that Canyon does have the mechanics on this Lee Sin. Let's see them here in game number 2. Here we are, it's a beautiful Summoner's Rift for game number 2 of Afreeca versus DAMWON. And once again, we're paying a little bit of a visit towards the enemy jungle on the Afreeca side.
Well, that's a really fast Corki. He's got the red flames.
Yeah, that means that it goes faster.
That's
I think you get
from what I understand.
I hope you just get 1 extra movement speed.
I think Riot actually removed all those
know,
interactions.
It's so sad.
I believe the sunglasses interaction with the sunlight passive from Leona and Lux was removed as well.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. And I think the Ninja's passive as well was also removed. Thankfully, we've got teamfight tactics for that now.
We're a serious game, no RNG, except for Critical Strike.
Although you don't get it level 1 now.
The base, that's probably a crazy thing to talk about, right? The base crit that used to be there, but we have to talk about an actual level 1 as Kiin and Tread are going for a late invade. They're playing on an area. Canyon knows there's probably a ward here, that's why he's starting this camp, but not often do you see 2v2 at level 1.
That's going to be the steal away as well, as there's action everywhere. Dredgeline lands bottom side as BeryL's going to go down very low. Aftershock wears off and goes down to about 150. Checking out the Ash runes, does have some biscuit delivery and some cool boots, but otherwise nothing really to talk about. But Fleet Footwork is definitely a step away from the lethal tempo that we almost always see on the Ash.
It's very much about the mobility and a little bit of sustain it gives in lane. I think this is very much about dodging bindings and things like that. Aftershock Lux, remember, if you're against an engaged support, you want to pack on the Aftershock. This is the time where this rune returns.
Yep. We saw it actually work out very, very well.
Yep.
Level 1 earlier.
Very hard for Nautilus to not be hit by the life binding, so you will have it. Canyon has gone for a fast bot lane gank, even though there was that brawling earlier. Oh, BeryL
Great spell shield, but Senan's going to face check Canyon. It's going to be a 1v2 though, as he still decides that he wants to go for it, wants to grab this kill. Flash is going to be followed. First blood now for Canyon. He has no red buff, but he just wants to keep aiming busy. Aiming's able to flash to get out of the way. Great boomerang blade, but it's a 1-for-1 in the end, and Aiming now has no flash.
Canyon is going in Superman mode in this game when in 1v2 knew his damage output as level 2 Lee Sin. Picks up the kill, gets traded though. It goes to the AD carry, and it was Canyon himself that picks up a jungle enchant from it. The big play that happened there was BeryL actually shorted his hook. He only had 1 ability, he was level 1 and missed the hook, so unfortunately...
I think it got spell shielded.
Could have been correct there. I guess we'll need to see. I thought it shorted, but you're right.
Yeah.
That could have been the interaction.
I seem to remember Siva saying something about it, which is the only reason I say that.
All we know is it wasn't able to be involved in combat, and that's why it was a solo mission coming through. From Canyon, pushing in mid lane, we mentioned it earlier, definitely in the ultra early phase. You do like it for Ucal.
Yeah, Ucal having a great time, and also his play-up style on the Azir has been very strong in recent days. BeryL down to 100 health. See you later, mate. You're going home.
Tank supports not having the best time in this meta. No surprise to that. Dread's in a cool spot here. Remember, you can body slam out of the regular W.
Well, he didn't actually have his Predator available, as Valkyrie is going to be there for ShowMaker, but he uses the rest of his mana. Teleport is up on the Corki. It's taken by Ucal there as well. Both of these mid laners wanting to get the priority back timings and not feeling the need to go for something like a cleanse like Ucal did in game number 1.
Now watch BeryL here.
Yeah.
Hooks in his spell shield, but then I believe flashes as well earlier in the piece here through all of this. We're going to go through it. Canyon going in 1v2. Those auto attacks from Lee Sin. Pretty damn big. After us, you're right. Good catch on the spell shield there. Missed it. I was watching through it. And then BeryL.
Misses the flash.
I mean,
that's the
misses the flash. It's just a very weird one. I guess he really wanted to make the super duper fat flash.
I think he wanted to fat flash over the wall and then didn't. And I think that was what was just in the player the voice comms there.
That's the nicer version. The other version is that he forgot the hook goes to terrain, which, you know.
I don't think he would have flashed if he thought the hook went through terrain.
Whoops daisies.
Yeah. It's not exactly the greatest news story. Is Kiin uses his teleport Nuguri uses his teleport to get back into this lane. Kiin now finds himself Canyon.
Level 5.
Yeah, lands the shock blast on the level 3 Lee Sin, and Canyon has to get the hell out of the top lane.
Thanks for the memories, says Kiin. And now he's the one on the Jace. Somehow the Jace Med is back for this series.
Oh, hell yeah.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Nuguri Vlad versus Kiin Jace. We're already getting kind of some of those shipped matchups that you wanted to see based on the player quality and how strong they are in lane. And understandably, early laning phase, Nuguri, he's weathering the storm.
Yep, and now Jace is actually the second champion that Kiin has played more than once, apart from Aatrox.
There you go.
He's got 9 games, I believe, after game number 1 on the Aatrox, but otherwise it's all just one-offs. And this Jace pickup was another champion that he managed to pick up a victory on. So we'll see whether they can ride that one to a win. So far, 1.1k is the advantage here for the Afreeca Freecs as the laning phase continues. We did mention that it was going to be difficult for DAMWON to really get anything done, especially with their solo lanes, but I just don't know whether they necessarily outscale this Afreeca composition as the game goes on either.
I think they do specifically because Corki can poke out any frontline attempt by Afreeca. They have a very squishy frontline and 3-4 item Corki, right? Magic damage crits. And then Vladimir is such an answer to Jace, Sivir, 500 range, 80 carries, both of them. So I think there is that implied nature, but it's not one of those guaranteed timer things. It's very much they need to be within touch and gold at a certain amount of time with the right setup. So it's a little bit more conditional than some of our outscales. And I think you can also see it in the items. It's Kindle Gem and Ucal versus immediate power. And that's just the power divide right now. Afreeca know that bread is buttered around this time, that pre-25, like that's actually quite late, right? A lot of games end before 25, but pre-25, they should have a lot of advantages, and it's on them to take them.
Well, Ucal's tanking the turret. Sand Soldier goes down, and ShowMaker still looking to go aggressive. Canyon's going to turn up in the nick of time. Safeguards in, gets the flash with a well-placed Q. That's really important. The flash in from Dread, but doesn't actually find the boot. Good flash from ShowMaker, but eventually the Fat Man does go down. Kiin's going to turn up at the right time, but Ucal is going to get outplayed by Canyon. The double kill for the Lee Sin. This guy's ready for another MVP.
And the fighting just continues, gets better and better. Dominoes fall 1-by-1 on both sides, but Kiin exits after already having a lane lead with double buffs. And Nuguri says, guys, I was already having a hard time. This also might just put him over the top.
Yep, might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and now there's also an Executioner's calling that extra money put into the back pocket of the Jace. The lane for the Vlad just got extraordinarily hard.
And I love looking at the minimap to see how this started, because it's not like everyone was lying in wait for a counter gank. It's just that we kept rolling. It's actually on the top side you can see that Dread was stealing away the Raptor camp. We get a flash and you think, oh, maybe the action's over. No, Dread comes in, misses his flash. Remember, with the boop, he also gets the Predator proc on that ability, gets the fadeaway kill, and then the red buff gets traded around, and then double buffs now, and double buff transfer. A lot of action in mid lane.
Yeah, all of those buffs funneled onto the Jace.
I don't even know what clean comms sound like in this particular play.
Yep. Dread was just saying that he couldn't believe that he missed his flash body slam there, guys.
But he was also saying he didn't have vision, so he had to kind of hit and hope. He hoped that he was juking towards the Raptor camp, and then, of course, it all looked a bit sloppy. And that's what started the fun fiesta around the mid lane.
Yeah, and now are we going to get more action on the top side of the map? Sorry, as Kiin does have those double buffs and can now continue pushing this advantage. Nuguri has a good item timing, has all of the extra CDR, and now he's looking to try and take down Kiin. Hemo Plague is good, does have the pull. This may actually be the solo flashes! The shock blast to get the Crimson Rush. Tides of Blood are now here, but you know that Nuguri is saying worth in that all chat like you would not believe. Solo kill against the double buffs Jace that was trashing him this game, and the fighting continues. Dreads gets tagged by the Q as Canyon looks to just close in the distance. There it is. Double buffs once again claimed by Canyon.
Has anyone done this much damage in 9 minutes to champions with Lee Sin auto attacks? He has just been running around and slapping falls left, right, and center.
Where's his Conqueror, dude? He needs Conqueror Lee Sin this game.
I don't know, man. This game has been amazing. The kill there for Nuguri, and you know that even though he trades, the hashtag worth is going to be his smile level, because both of them have to actually be kind of poor men and walk back to lane. They're just plebs walking back to lane. They got no Ubers to get back. But you know who's got the smile on the way back? It's for sure Nuguri, because he got double buffs off of the Jace.
And also, Nuguri, you saw there the hero minion block on the empowered shock blast is why he was able to do this, and then the flash was perfect. And here, doesn't care that he's about to die. He'd already done everything that he wanted to do.
What a game so far. And picture in picture, you can see that Lee Sin's back.
Yep, once again, another fight is Canyon. Toying with him there a little bit. That was some weird interaction with the kick.
The kick and the hammer hit. We're doing an override, interesting scenario. Kiin didn't have flash, so it wasn't related to that. I don't know if we'll get a playback, but just know Canyon's ult was used.
Yep, and now Nuguri very close to level 9, very close to stabilizing in this lane. Although there is the Executioners, which does skew that just a little bit. Not going to have all of those transfusions without the Grievous Wounds being available.
But the thing about Nuguri is, you know, he's very much a mastery player. He is like laning excellent. So's Kiin. Yeah, but I think Nuguri, because so much of his kind of value is in the laning, is not quite the same teamfight and teleport player that Kiin is. No kind of insult to him. He's just that good at laning. How did he know that 20 to 30 CS down, with the items kind of looking like they do now, like a Codex and a Kindle Gem against double buffs, Executioners calling serrated Dirk Jace, there was a solo kill?
I don't know. I think he saw that missed empowered shock blast and decided, well, it's Hemo Plague time, boys and girls. That's what it looked like to me, but I wouldn't have made that play, Papa Smithy.
That's the thing.
Nuguri.
I think you and I had the same reaction when we see that play. We lose our minds, we shout about it, and then we remember that we should probably be queuing teamfight tactics and not ranked.
Yeah, damn right. There's certainly a place where my mouse is going to be.
That wasn't like him re-rolling at the speed of light to get that cannon for the final fight.
Yeah, with your sick teamfight tactics mechanics, Papa Smithy. I know that you've been busting those out.
Well, as I said, Pantheon lover to the end.
The Rumble jungle doesn't need too many mechanics either, Papa Smithy.
Oh, come on, I can hit the ult. People complain about that. I'm like, that's the only thing I can do.
Yeah. Does that make you a natural Victor player as well? Because you can nail the E?
I'm an awful Victor player.
Dang it.
Because I can only queue him top and then I just get ganked and die.
Wouldn't you be really excited though? It's like mini equalizers all the time.
Yeah, but it's too close ranged. As speaking of close ranged, we're seeing close to our screen, the Predator popped and hopefully some more kills being heralded.
Yeah, Nuguri now stuck underneath this turret. Tides of Blood gets no value, but this Rift Herald certainly will. Canyon's going to pay a visit. Hemo Plague will give Nuguri back his health bar, but he's not going to be able to take down this Rift Herald. That's a great stun to come in from downtown, remember. The stun length was huge as Nuguri not able to get into the pool. And DAMWON, they try to set up for the defense, but it's just too many of the Afreeca Freecs members.
Really good post 10-minute move though from Afreeca Freecs. This is when they fell apart in game number 1, but they make this play because Nuclear teleported bot lane and they could just pack up and have a party top lane, and unfortunately Nuclear not invited. They get the turret down, they slow down. What was starting to be a stabilizing point for Nuguri, he's starting to hit all of his item time, he's starting to trade well. Now a turret's down, a Youmuu's Ghostblade is there, and they even have to address their lane assignments as well, so Nuclear's just actually caught in no man's land.
Yep, and that means that Aiming has set himself up at 1-0-1, has a bit of a bounty on his head as well. Essence Reaver is completed for him. Interestingly enough, Nuclear has gone towards an Essence Reaver also, so it's a bit of a deviation here from the Ashe build of old, which is just Blade of the Ruined King all the time.
So this was the build first popularized by Prey. Different Essence Reaver at the time, but Prey was an Essence Reaver.
He was.
Ashe player. Some other people went Infinity Edge first. Blade, of course, has been the more common recent build. Most recently, it was seen in the LCS. Cloud9 was going into the Essence Reaver Ashe plus Trinity Force for actually kind of a kiting poke build. And with the fleet footwork, it actually makes some sense, right?
Yeah, buff on volley makes sense, yep.
Nuguri does all the real damage, and you just poke around in your utility 40% CDR bot. We'll see if that's the choice here. The arrow was sent early to at least provide something. That's what drew the teleport, and 3.5 second stun was actually pretty relevant here, but no way out for Nuguri.
And Senan's shield was just so powerful. He's got his Aftershock at the ready as well, but just the fact that that shield blocked all of the damage, even after that stun lasted for so long, was certainly some Lux power level stuff.
You're not, of course, honor bound to go further into something like Trinity Force and rush early 40% CDR. You can just go for it. You know, very standard crypt build here. It's top lane, Canyon.
Yep, it's going to be the kickback. The boot comes in there as well, but the Q does land. Canyon's going to follow. Hemo Plague pop, and Dread can't get there in time. Another kill goes to Nuguri, and another bead of sweat down the brow of the Afreeca Freecs.
Going to be spell shielded on the bot side. BeryL does have his ult. Not going to fully engage. Of course, no one there to back it up. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that was close. That was close.
I'm still unsettled by this Corki skin. I've never seen this chrome.
No, neither have I. It's a weird one. As BeryL, he wants to go back home, doesn't have a heck of a lot of health. but Senan's going to clear out all of their vision first, and aiming will deal with this bottom outer turret.
Yeah, some more immediate gold. We said Afreeca Freecs. Yes, it's not a true outscale from DAMWON, but queries on where DAMWON will be in terms of team fighting and the kind of necessity of Vlad to take over a game. Do it now. Nash's Tooth is done, so we're working towards second item. Jace, you know, every item he picks up is going to give him a lot more of what he can do. Can they make the map state about the fact that they can roll up, start something, and force DAMWON to come to them before their items are done? Or do we just see Nuguri taking CS for CS on the same map as Kiin and getting to that teamfight happy place? That's going to be the thing for us to gauge here in the mid-game, because Afreeca really need to find a stranglehold, and they need to start it soon.
Yeah, I think that the big problem here for the Afreeca Freecs is that they gave up that first Infernal Drake. Afreeca Freecs, if that had gone their way, then they'd be staring down the barrel of 2 potential Infernals as this one comes up with all the control that they have. Gold lead isn't massive, but like you're talking about, the item spikes are in there, certainly, for the Afreeca Freecs. Even now, just a Phage on top of all the items from Kiin, so he's a little bit more mobile in this matchup. Q's going to land there from Canyon. Still thinking about going even more aggressive. Merc Treads are built for the Lee Sin.
A lot of people lying in wait everywhere, is what it feels like at the moment. Walk up.
Setting up for the jump scares on Afreeca's side of the map, definitely.
One ward deep in the mid lane is a jump scare Vladimir ward, but I don't know if there's necessarily the bark behind the bite at the moment. No full item done. Seems to be working on Spellbinder for his team fight Blanks as his first item here, so not the Proto Belt that we kind of see mindlessly picked up more often than not.
Yeah, wants to have that extra power, and now with Afreeca's 5 control wards that are lining the river, I believe one just got cleared out, but they're going to utilize that to take down their own Infernal Drake, evening out that number as the next one's going to be in Ocean. 5 minutes on the clock before that one is coming back up. Inner turret being our threat here on the bottom side of the map, as the outer on the top side will get solo gold over to Nuguri, but losing inners, trading it for an outer turret that you could have taken maybe earlier in this game is not where you want to be on DAMWON's side, and just shows how much control in the composition that Afreeca has at this stage of the game, and also the whoopsies that occurred on the top side earlier on.
But I do like Afreeca reading the map intelligently. Canyon, like we've mentioned already in the pregame, is a camper. He likes to go to the lane that's winning and help it win harder. So him being top side for the Vlad makes a lot of sense. So they answer that with a nice map play on the bot side. Whatever we say about DAMWON Gaming going forward, they'll never have a front line. You can't call Lee Sin and support Nautilus a frontline. They're very, very squishy in terms of frontline. So where Afreeca is, if they're rolling up as a unit, DAMWON Gaming can't be face-checking. They can't be trying to contest wards very well. So if Afreeca move first and move quickly, whether it's the Moby Boots Lux or even just using the Sivir ultimate, they're going to find a lot. And it does seem like it will be Trinity Force from Nuclear.
Yeah, going the sneaky style. Sneaky got a little bit of flack for this particular build, but I personally like it. When you first mentioned the Sivir volley buff, I said Trinity Force.
Remember that now, CDR, I talked about lethality Ash, that 40% CDR Ash is along the same school of thought, right? Because volley is very short cooldown. If you don't need to be the primary damage for your team, what is your role as an AD carry? He's got an AD carry in the mid lane, and he's got a Vladimir, who's a teamfight dive god. There's nothing wrong with the Ashe not trying to kind of slower build a 3-item crit build. If at 2 items, you have 40% CDR, Hawk shots are flying everywhere, so from having no frontline, you can throw out and get temporary vision, you can engage. It means that you have a role as Ashe, but your role is not killing people in the late game.
Now, Canyon was spotted there. As Nuguri's going to come over, Canyon locks away the blue buff, but it doesn't go to the Corki, which is important. He was on top side of the map anyway. Now Aiming's looking to try and siege out in this mid lane. Still a very healthy outer turret right here, meaning that Nuclear has been able to land a lot of these volleys, but look at those shock blasts. Nuclear down to half health just from a couple of ricochets, and a shock blast coming in from the Jace of Kiin. Looking at the CS numbers, Nuclear has actually pulled it back quite a lot. He was down by about 40 to 50 CS against Aiming earlier on, but has since been able to hoover up a few of these minions in the mid lane.
Waiting for Afreeca to find a way to attempt to kill the game. Baron usually represents that. Just about spawn. 20 minutes now. It does spawn on the Rift. They should be in first positions, like we've been alluding to. Afreeca moves forward as a unit, puts down wards. DAMWON needs to start throwing out blue trinkets and hawk shots, and even with CDR, there's always going to be a limit to how much temporary vision they can create. And then Afreeca just need to trust. They have good Baron damage, they have good Baron turn. Now they can't tank it very well, they're going to have to be decisive. Let's listen for those shot calls. They're going to be implied. I think the Sivir ult's going to be the spoiler on that. Because Afreeca, they're in a great position, but just like game one, things can turn DAMWON's way.
Yep, and we know that DAMWON do just have execution on their side in a lot of cases. They make the big plays. And in these team fights, just somehow miracles can happen. Arrow going to be flashed out of the way of there by Kiin. Great move. Senan has cleanse. You just indicated to me, Papa Smith.
It is a big arrow, so it is very scary, and you can understand that even if you Captain Jacket, bad things can happen. Still, I didn't realize that was Kiin's flash, we should say.
Yes.
On to this one, we're walking up again. Here we go.
Yep, Nuguri actually taking a lot of free damage here, wanting to block any attempt at moving towards this turret.
I like this. A lot of chip damage coming here. Nuclear doesn't have teleport, so his 2-second volley isn't going to be relevant for a while. Yeah,
and their poke and siege is actually fantastic on the Afreeca side. Not something we're used to saying about a Sivir composition, but with a Jace, with a Lux, it doesn't matter about your short range if you just basically kill everyone or force them home.
Are you going to press your buttons, DAMWON? We hear that Sivir ult. That means mid lane turret goes down, and what does mid lane outer give you? Way more reliable Baron plays is the reward here. So reward for effort from Afreeca. So far, I really like that in game number 2. They've gone where they needed to go, when they need to go, which has not been an Afreeca standby by any means.
Well, DAMWON now have some opportunities. The reset comes in for Afreeca, and therefore, this Ocean Drake could be on the cards, but also some free time with this outer turret. And they have a Corki, they have an Ashe.
Oh boy.
And they tear this turret up. Remember, this is a Sheen Ashe. She does killing turrets even better than she used to.
Well, Afreeca Freecs just decided to fully disengage. You know, everyone went their own way, and that just means the turret dies basically as an afterthought. It's still 4-2 up in turrets. DAMWON Gaming jumping around. Remember, Lee Sin and his package still up on ShowMaker. Does reveal himself here. Ucal has Banshee Veil and Flash, so he's feeling pretty concussed.
Yeah, also Sun Turret there to back him up, so it feels like he's in a really, really small ARAM, just clearing up these minions very, very comfortably. 2-item spike like you're talking about. Banshee's Veil completed. Still, ShowMaker does have the Sork Boots as well as the Rapid Fire Cannon. As Canyon gets his ward over the wall, the Baron is going to be interrupted as the Hawk Shot flies over from above as well.
So 40% CDR, done. Could be 45% CDR onto Nuclear, not to know. Don't remember the runes earlier. Didn't look at Ashe's runes. Weird, but you know, that's the way we usually are.
She had the fleet footwork with the Inspiration second. Didn't go into the Transcendent, so it doesn't have 45.
I don't believe went for that last point there. So trying to kind of integrate what this all means. What do DAMWON need is kind of an interesting thing to ask. We've been focused on Afreeca's win condition. Obviously, solo kills in the 1v1 would be a nice start.
Yep, Hemoplate comes down. Lots of Tides of Blood coming in here from Nuguri, and he is able to pull the correct abilities, finds the Q. Solo kill is too easy on the flashless Jace.
And the flashless part is the important one. Doesn't matter where you're juking, you had to flash an arrow earlier. You're dead, boy. Nuguri picks up the kill there. All they are short of, not even including the 1v1 kill, is a teleport ward. They don't have those set up yet, but if they can sneak a ward, say onto the blue buff, and then Nuguri comes from the side with Spellbinder, that could actually be exactly the tonic for DAMWON Gaming for what feels like an inevitable Baron contest in their very near future.
I was really scared for aiming there as he walks down to face Nuguri. He does have a 2-level disadvantage against this Vladimir, but didn't have the Hemo Plague back up, goes back home, now has himself Morellonomicon as well as his Spellbinder, which was on cooldown also, so not going to utilize that. Afreeca Freecs teleporting onto the Baron here, but it's just aiming, getting back towards the lane and putting some more pressure around where this Baron is. Another Hawk Shot flies over, and the 40% CDR build does allow for a lot of birds in the sky. As BeryL is going to get engaged on, doesn't get the Aftershock, finally finds it as Dread goes golden. The huge pop onto the Lux as Dread's going to go down. ShowMaker with a stray rocket locks in the second kill for DAMWON. And how can they do this? They just manufacture one fights when they want them.
But you can tell Afreeca are getting frustrated. They try to just pull this out of nowhere. They didn't have vision to make the play. Canyon falls low. They're trying to chase for damage.
Yep, Dredgeline comes in. That's the reset that Aiming was looking for. Teleports cannot be cancelled as ShowMaker immediately trying to move out of the way, but Nuclear comes in as well. It was a double onto that ward, but in goes Nuguri as well, and they don't even need it. The Sand Soldiers are there just to attend the DAMWON party, and they will take themselves the Baron.
That was the ultra grinder. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Corki on the one side, but when Nuguri's in the back and exploding health bars, he didn't need to use the Emo Plague for the first kill early. It comes back with it, and goodbye Baron, and perhaps goodbye Afreeca Freecs.
Yep, Senan going for that final spark, much like Joker did yesterday, not able to steal anything away with that one.
Watch Nuguri here. Remember, look at his, he EQs to death the damn Lux in the first play, and you think it might be over here, but if you've been watching this series, you know it's not. He didn't need Hemo Plague, but knew the damage output on EQ. And Lux, a squishy enchanter, Season 3 feels for the Lux. The TPs come in. Which one's which? Is it the Corki? Is it the Vladimir? Vladimir in for the flank, and it's just beautiful. Aiming's health bar instantly deleted. He'll eventually take down Ucal, who just tries to kill people to stop a Baron going there.
And also, Canyon was there with the perfect timing on the stopwatch also to make sure that he didn't get swept up in that Emperor's Divide. Just really amazing play from DAMWON.
And we sat here, and I know I had this call in spring season, is when you see these games from DAMWON, you see what seduced Coach Kim Jong-soo to leave IG for DAMWON. This, to me, is the tantalizing team I wish I could be the coach of, because the potential for DAMWON is to be a team like we've never seen, mechanically talented in every role, to a level that is, never really been approximate. I think of maybe OMG when they brought in Uzi like in 2015 and had unbelievable lineup at the time. Cool in the mid lane, going in top side, and Loveling in jungle. But DAMWON, they still got a lot of work to do on their macro, and their pick ban sometimes lets them down. But when it comes together, it's beautiful.
It really, really is. And now you got Nuguri once again, waiting for a flank. Canyon fishing for some Qs. Baron buff not being utilized absolutely fantastically here, not in multiple lanes, and their siege not necessarily as powerful as what Afreeca have put together with the poke options. Nuclear is, of course, able to throw out a heck of a lot of volleys. That at rank 5 right now.
Poke comes in. A lot of annoying poke from Nuclear, like I mentioned. Here's the all-in.
Yeah, we're going for it. Ucal has to flash to get himself out. Did have the Emperor's Divide. That's only going to get the Nautilus, though, as DAMWON able to get some poke damage back over. Nuguri, in the meantime, is able to take an inner turret in the mid lane, but they do lose one of their members, and BeryL's not going to be available on this map for another 25 seconds.
How much do they really lose when BeryL dies? Yes, it's relevant, but they have so much damage still that you have to be very worried as Afreeca, even 4v5.
Yeah, and Canyon even landing that Q, I thought that was just going to be dead red as Nuguri hears the go button, dives in. Hemo Plague's going to get so much work done, he barely even needs it. As ShowMaker now just wants one more auto, misses the rocket onto Senan. That's going to mean that he survives, but this inhibitor turret is not going to be so lucky. A perfect Baron inhibitor to be taken here, but the Baron's still going to be alive for another 30 seconds on this DAMWON squad. They may be able to take more.
Nuguri was the player that made me get into those DMs and ask Jack to just nerf the damn Vladimir again and again in spring season. He plays to his items. That's the cool thing about Nuguri. He always chooses a keystone and an item build that fits the lane rather than just going for the pro build that everyone uses that copies. They copy him, but he's situational. And when he chooses it, and he's played to his Spellbinder, again, the amount of fighting he's done in this game before 3-item Vladimir is more than kind of 7 other Vladimir games put together sometimes.
And now he has a really cool hat, Bob Smithy. So
great.
He's got the Hemo.
This is, again, we said, how much does it affect you that Nautilus isn't there? It turns out Vladimir, when he has enough items, can initiate himself and kill everyone.
And also the fact that Dread was at about 0 health, and what he did was delay his death. That's what his maneuver was in answer to that play on the side of DAMWON. So I completely agree with you. Absolutely irrelevant that BeryL wasn't available. Feels like he just got a few buttons out of the Afreeca Freecs and meant that Nuguru's free to dive into the backline.
Yeah.
As this is a new bug.
Which one? Oh, the sound?
Yeah.
I've heard it before. It's a weird twinkle bug with with the Corgi skin, I think.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because it's way better than some of the other bugs we've had. Remember the old Gatling gun bug?
Yeah,
that's probably what this is, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is. Okay. Changes the sound just a little bit.
Spotted
Zonya's bug was my least favorite as Nuguri. Can they keep the CC bar? The answer is no. As the Sanguine Pool even able to turn around on aiming for most of his health bar in damage. Canyon's desperate for it. He really wanted to find that kill package delivered to Senan there as ShowMaker dives the backline. Not going to lock down any kills, but we know what the message that is being sent from DAMWON is. We're going to murder you if you stand in our way. Get out of the way of our inhibitor turrets.
I think DAMWON Gaming have a hot date. They want to get to it as fast as possible because they are playing thick and fast mid lane.
Dread dives into the back line, but he's just going to have to go golden and delay his own death once again. Another Sanguine pull perfectly timed there from Nuguri as they do back away. Jungler is dead. 1 minute on the Infernal Drake. DAMWON not going to press too much further forward. Kiin at full health is something that they're going to choose to respect.
Only 6,000 gold ahead. Yes, it does feel like Afreeca may have missed their window. And Afreeca, as we noted, was very, very forceful around Baron, and then it was turned around by a DAMWON Gaming TP play. But that doesn't mean that DAMWON are far enough ahead to just play like headless chicken and just take everything and end the game right now. So it's good to see Afreeca put up much more of a contest here rather than just roll over, because they still have a lot of damage on their side when DAMWON Gaming will walk up and disrespect like they are on screen.
Yeah, the problem is that now we've got an Infinity Edge done for Nuclear. He's got his Trinity Force and Essence Reaver, but he's turning into just a legitimate carry himself. He did have a lot of that utility earlier on, but now 206 on the Ashe and does a hell of a lot of damage as well.
And that's how it bridges, right? It starts with 40% CDR utility because you have a Corki and this Vladimir on your team. And then now, with how things go, Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge is 50% crit. So yes, you don't have your Zeal item. Kind of weird to see a build go this far with no Zeal item at 31 minutes, right? But that's how the build goes. But when your Zeal item comes in, you've kind of got everything. But before that, you had utility and a bit of burst, because if you get that IE proc with Trinity Force, it's a lot of damage. And then it goes to more normalcy is we're having to zoom out, Senan trying to contest the Baron. DAMWON Gaming, they feel like if they get this one, the game's just over.
Yep. I think a lot of us are feeling that way also. I really love the rapid fire cannon utility as well that Nuclear will be able to bring in. I just feel like this build it's really fun. I don't necessarily know whether it's good, but it's really fun because then you get to volley and then auto attack at volley range and still get the Sheen.
It's a new age build. People are still testing things in Korean Solo. You see, actually,
whoa, that damage. That was ShowMaker at the top of your screen. That wasn't the Q doing that much. As you saw Afreeca Freecs, they were very, very scared. It means that Nuclear's already optimistic arrow is going to go wide, but they're already starting off this Baron. It's down to half health, and ShowMaker's not even there. BeryL's going to set up choppers. That's a Valkyrie very aggressively. And the final spark's going to do nothing. That's the Baron lockdown. BeryL diving into the backline. Nuguri doing exactly the same thing in the Sanguine pull, but he's not even the main damage threat in this particular engagement. The Corki was tearing them up.
You know, that's a pretty scary thing to consider, Atlas. I think that's going to be it, though. They're going to be able to come in. They've got their teleports back up. They're going to go shop, come and end the game.
Yep, more teleports to fly forward. I believe that's ShowMaker turning up in the mid lane. Nuguri was already on the bottom side. They're going to funnel some super creeps towards these Nexus turrets, and you're right, that hot date, they're going to be there on time, Papa Smithy, maybe even early. They can get some extra appetizers. Nexus turrets are going to be dead. The arrow finds Kiin in the back line, and Dread once again goes from golden to dead. Faster than you could ever believe. DAMWON Gaming 2-0, but a beautiful 2-0.